Hey everybody, welcome back. Now we've got something a little bit different today. You know, you might have noticed within, I think it was like the last maybe month to 2 months, there have been a couple of collaborations that I have done with Tauri REACTS. We do speak quite frequently now, given that we are technically both from close to the same place. So today we're just going to be having a little bit of a hangout. It's not really going to be an interview. It's because we do hang out now and again. So I'm just going to go with it, but before we go into that, I'll just show you a couple of clips. Those of you that aren't familiar with the stankiest of faces. Okay, so that was the lovely Tauri, and as promised, we've got her here today. How are you doing today, Tauri? Thanks for joining us.
Hey guys, I'm well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. It was quite interesting. We were actually scheduled to do this little chat today, like an hour from now. But Tauri was actually ready a little bit early, which I'm quite surprised at, Tauri, really, because for a woman, generally, like you take forever to get ready, and I'm here, like I was like, yeah, I'm just editing, right, quick, get it all done.
Yeah, there is that stereotype with some women that do take forever, but no, for me, from like showering and doing like a full face of makeup, if I'm rushing and I need to get out of the house, it'd take me like 30 minutes. So
that's pretty good. I bet your husband must be like really pleased about that.
Well, yeah, and sometimes, you know, he takes longer than I do, so there's that as well.
That's really good. That's really good. I don't have a partner to worry about, so you know. But I'm a man, and we generally like, oh, need to get ready, stick a t-shirt on, right? That's fine. But no, I just wanted to say thank you for coming on today. It was something I did consider doing something like this when we started doing the collaborations. Like obviously we did the Lycanthrope one, then we came onto yours and we did Epica, which was awesome. I still need to do some Epica on the channel. I know you'd be extremely happy about that.
I would, yeah.
you do love that. I was just looking. I was like, oh no, she's not got her Epica t-shirt on today. She's got the Tauri t-shirt, and I know that because I've looked at them on Amazon.
Yeah, I do have my own Tauri cat t-shirt, which I'm thinking about moving off Amazon. It's just a little. You know that YouTube has their own store that you can put underneath the videos now. I may just do that so people can actually see it, because I don't like promoting merch. I don't like self-promotion in a way. I'm very, I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like doing it. I don't have the confidence to do it. That's why I couldn't be a salesperson, because I couldn't sell you a car. I just couldn't. I'd be like, well, I mean, if you don't like it, that's okay. Whereas, you know, you have to be kind of pushy, and you kind of have to get that sale, and I'm not that person. So I don't even bring up my merch in my YouTube channel. It's down in the description. If people see it, they see it. If they don't, that's fine. You know, I'm not worried about it.
No, well, the only reason I knew, because I remember like after we did it was one of the collaborations we did, and you know, sometimes when you're like, oh, I've not looked at I've not looked at all the socials, so I'll have a look. I was like, oh, she's got some t-shirts, but I think it was coming up to be. It was either before I was doing the collab with you, or it was just before I was doing the live stream. I remember I was like, but I was still waiting to get paid. And you know, when it was like that point of the month, and I was like, oh, it's a bit ropey. I was like, how cool would it have been that if I could have just like got one and then just like turned up on the live stream? You'd have been like, oh my god.
Yeah, that would have been really cool. Like, there are a few people who like I didn't think would buy one. Like, I don't know if you've heard of Anoxia. You know, I did that in the talks with Tauri with her. Yeah. She bought one, and I was like, oh my god, you know, that's really cool that an actual artist is wearing my merch. Like, that's crazy.
It is cool with things like that. I mean, I have not. It's really something I should really put some more time into, because I do have some designs, but I've just not gone into, because I'd have to. I don't know how you do yours, but if I was going to do it again, it'd definitely be on like the whole print on demand service, so you don't have to like physically buy the stock. because it's you know,
Yeah,
it's pricey.
mine is done through one of my mods. It's his Amazon store, and like and it's kind of done like on a month-to-month basis, and like it, of course, with Amazon it's just printed when somebody buys something, so it's not like I have backstock here, because I, you know, like you said, with being YouTubers, we can't afford to put that kind of money into merch like that. And you know, it the same with having, like, I just opened a PO box for myself, and I've only opened it for like 3 months because I don't know if anybody's going to send me anything. Again, I'm not going to be pushy with that either, because I don't want to feel like I'm begging for things, or, you know, having people send me stuff, because that's just not the type of person I am. But people have brought it up, so I opened one. I did, you know, the least amount of time I could on it. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I can cancel it. It's not a big deal, you know.
It's a good thing. It's definitely a good thing to have. I think it's like with anything. They always, it's so strange, isn't it? Because people always say, you know, if you're doing YouTube, or if you're in a band or anything like that, they always say, oh, as well as like the actual thing you do, you got to remember that you are actually your brand, which is. I mean, it's true. It's true to an extent, I guess, but I think it can really be tricky. I'm sort of similar to you in terms of the whole selling things. I mean, obviously I promote the Patreon, goes in every video. Literally only say that because I actually have the people on it, and that's just like, you know, it's a recognition for that, and people know that I do the other things to get on like as soon as possible. But it is one of those that if you're not a salesperson, it can feel really awkward to do, and I'm the same when it comes to jobs. Like the job that I do now, I remember when they told me that there was, although it's technically in what we call new business, and you think new business, oh, that means like having to get new people in. And there is like, I guess there's a sort of sales bit to it. But I said to my friend that was going to employ me, I was like, if this is like one of those selling jobs, I was like, just don't employ me, because you'll be sacking me within 3 months.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. Like, I don't know how people do these pyramid scheme ones, either, you know, that you see online, like they're selling makeup, or they're selling health things or whatever. And I've been approached so many times because I do like makeup and I do wear makeup, but I can't do that. If I am not that type of person to reach out to somebody I don't know and be like, hey, I see you like makeup, have you thought about trying this brand, and this is so good, and blah 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 blah. We all have our own likes and our own dislikes, and you know, now I've got my makeup routine down to what I like and how it looks on camera. I'm like, I don't really want to deviate away from that, so I'm sorry, but no.
Well, it always looks absolutely great, and it's really funny that you say that, because you would literally, if I had to think of like, of all of the YouTube people that like I know personally who I like have a connection with, if I was to think of anyone that was going to be for like a makeup brand, it would be yours, because it just always it always looks flawless, and you've always got loads of cool different looks. You're like, I love how I've seen when there's a particular, if you're doing a particular video and you might have seen a thumbnail, and you can usually tell what sort of color scheme the video has, and then you even do that in with your makeup at times. So I think that's really cool. I like that.
Yeah, I do. Like with band t-shirts, I like to pick out the colors they have in there and match it with my eyeshadow and stuff. And people have said that I should start like my own YouTube channel for beauty and for makeup and things like that. But for me, I think that would take the enjoyment out of it. You know, it's more of a hobby for me than, I don't want it to be a career. Yeah. Plus, the beauty side of YouTube is extremely toxic, and I just don't. I'm not into that at all. You know, it's bad enough we get stupid comments from idiots on our own channels. Never mind people coming after how I look. You know, I starting this YouTube channel has helped me with my confidence in a way. But I think if I started a beauty channel, I think that would just knock me down so much that I'd just be like, nope, I'm not doing this anymore. I can't handle it. Strangers telling you that you've got a weird face, or you're doing this wrong, or it's because even in makeup, it's still subjective to what you like and what you personally want to do, and there's all these new trends and things to keep up with, and I'm not that kind of person at the end of the day. I like to be me. I like to be genuine, and yeah, I do like to play with makeup, but I don't think I could have a career out of it. It's just not like people, even friends, family have been like, you should start a YouTube channel. I'm just like, no, it's not. I think it would take that enjoyment out of it for me, and then it would become more like a chore, and I don't want that. So
I can understand that. Certainly with it being like about, I mean, I can't imagine the amount of pressure it must be for somebody doing that particular type of channel. I mean, because with ours, obviously obviously you have a lot more to do than I do. I'm just like, I've got my normal routine that I do to, like, you know, keep my skin looking like semi okay, and I'll be like, right, stick me hat on. Obviously the hat's on because my hair's a mess and it needs to be cut, and I'm just like straight onto it, and you're like, right, gotta do all this pretty. But like,
yeah, I mean, I don't have to do this, but I'm just not comfortable enough to go barefaced on camera, because also then you've got people coming at you, especially, see, if I started my channel barefaced, then that's what people would expect. But because I started my channel with a full face of makeup, if I were to come on and be barefaced, people would be like, whoa. Like, because I have been told I do look different without makeup on, because my skin is quite freckled underneath.
okay.
Like, you don't really see that with the foundation and stuff. And then I inherited on my dad's side of the family, they have like really hyperpigmentation around the eyes, and I don't like how it looks. So, and it makes it, because camera picks up everything, and it like makes it 1,000 times worse than it is in real life. And yeah, I'm just not about that. So I'll stick to doing my makeup and having fun with it.
No, you do. I think it's one of those things, is it, as well, because you do that for you. You make yourself look how you look on the channel, but that's the thing for you personally, because that makes you feel comfortable. Like, I'll wear a particular type of clothes that I feel comfortable in. But you like doing that. But like, for me to take a moment to think, somebody said, oh, you got some really cool band t-shirts and like whatever else, and think like, oh, why don't you do a channel just talking about your clothes? I was like, I'd just be absolutely bored to death.
Exactly. Yeah, because I'm not into fashion or anything like that. I literally I'm either in a band t-shirt or in, well, a t-shirt in general, or like with having my tattoos now, of course, I get like the strappy tops for summer and whatever, because I like, of course I want to show them off. But yeah, I'm not, somebody came to me and was like, hey, can you put this outfit together for me? I'm like, no, wrong person. If I am not going out anywhere, and I would be at home, I'd be in a comfy either PJs or like old t-shirts that I've turned into sleep shirts, and no makeup, no nothing. I like to be comfortable. I think I'm like the perfect mixture between like a girly girl and then like tomboyish. I'm very slap bang in the middle of that, and I enjoy being that, because although saying that, when I was young, like when I first started wearing makeup till probably about early 20s, I was not comfortable even starting my day without having a face on. I was that uncomfortable with my own skin and with my own face. And it's taken, like, my husband's been really great with that. He's even like, I don't care if you wear makeup or not. I prefer you without, because that's your natural self. And so that's helped me a lot. Whereas now, today, I can get up and I can just, like, if I need to go run errands or something, I can just throw on a cap and not do my makeup and just go out and not care about it. Whereas when I was younger, I would get up, I would shower, I would do a face, even if I wasn't going anywhere, just in case somebody knocked on the door. I was that. Yeah, my confidence was really, really bad. And it didn't help that, of course, in high school, kids get bullied, and I got bullied, and I'm sure you went through something similar as well. And it's an unfortunate part of life that we as kids do go through, and you kind of have to, as you get older, look at it and just think, well, that wasn't anything against who you are as a person. It's that the person who's bullying you is obviously got something deeper going on behind closed doors that you'll never see, and they're lashing out. And doing it in the wrong way, of course, or that's just who they are as a person, and there's no way you're going to change that. So you just have to take it with a grain of salt and try and move on from it and try and not take it in. So that's what I try and do with YouTube comments as well. If they don't appreciate my channel for what it is, then I'm just like, okay, well then bye, you don't need to be here, block, see you later.
Yeah, I remember seeing I can't remember if it was on a live stream or he might have been talking on a video about something. If you don't like this sort of thing, that's fine. And that's the exact way it should be. Or I think, oh no, we were talking about a particular video that we both featured the other day. Yeah, I know what we were talking about. I know what we're talking about now, but no, I'm totally with you on that. But like the amount of pressure that must be on women as a start, because you know what it's like. Anyone that is going to be doing like YouTube or anything, then the instant thing is, oh, that it's a female YouTuber, that well, they're going to obviously be looking perfect all the time, and that's not always the case. But I don't know why it seems to only be associated with that. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, I felt like, a lot of the stuff that I've done on the channel, there were times when, I mean, before I got my regime the way that it is, I mean, my regime is really simple. I literally have some stuff that I put on my nose, and that's it, because that's the only area that's affected. And before that, because I couldn't find anything that would sort it out, I think I bought some stuff by, there's this company, I think it's called like Dr. Jart, and it was like, I thought at first, oh, this will actually get rid of it, and it's not. It's literally, it's kind of like, I guess it was sort of like concealer, but it's supposed to be really good for your skin as well. And I'd be like, I put it on the days when it's like really red, and I put it on, I'm like, oh yeah, that looks great. Look on the videos, it looks ridiculous. It looks absolutely ridiculous. It might have hidden it, but you can totally tell there's something was going bad. And that, again, that is all down to the fact that I'd literally do a video, and if I saw that my nose was like really red, I was like, I don't want to put this out, but I did. I still put it out, but I did feel really, really like not great about it. But yeah, that was how it was with that, and like, I am glad now that I'm at a point where I'm quite happy with how things are. But one thing I did want to get into, I was looking. I had a little look about your current statistics on the channel, and I know you're not really big on like the numbers and everything. But for people watching, and even for you, I think it'll be really cool if any of this is a shock to you. So you started your channel. The day the channel was officially created was on November the 18th, 2019. So you've been doing this quite a fair few years now. Now today you are currently sat 38.9k subscribers, getting very close to 40. You've done 758 uploads, and your views, you are literally sat at just under 7.5 million views. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy numbers, but it doesn't even stop there. It does not stop there. On averages per day, this is per day, you are getting between 7,000 to 10,000 views per day, sometimes 15. I was having a look, and literally in the last 30 days, you've gained 1,100 subscribers. Like, wow. Like I'm sure, I don't know if you ever like seen those statistics or not, but surely just like hearing that and knowing that, I know you do this because just like me, you just love to discover music and you love to put your thoughts on there and have fun with it. That just be so, like, I don't know. Those numbers are just something to be really, really proud of. Like how does it make you feel? I know, aside from the fact of like, I know, I'm not bothered about statistics and everything like that, but like, how does it make you feel like hearing those numbers? Because I know to you, you're just like, oh well, I just sit down and I film my videos and I put it out, and we hope it does well. And how does all that make you feel?
I mean, it's crazy, honestly. Because when I first started my channel, I didn't even think I would even have 50 followers, never mind almost 40,000 people following me. Because, of course, being a reactor and it's so heavily oversaturated, I'm going to say, because, I mean, it is. And you see these people start and they've only been going for like 6 months, but then they somehow they put out a video and somehow it blows up, and then of course they get really big. Or you've got reactors who of course are more technical with things. You know, you've got your vocal coaches, you've got people who have been roadies, you've got people who are musicians themselves, and of course they tend to get more views because they are more technical and people like to learn things about stuff. Whereas for me, it's always just been I don't know anything about music, only how it makes me feel, and you know that's what I built my foundation on, and I'm really proud of how far the channel has come with just that. And, you know, even now, just waking up and seeing emails from record labels or from bands or, you know, reaching out and asking me to, oh, hey, we really love your channel, or your channel is one of our favorites. Could you do this reaction for us? It's just, it's like mind blowing. I never expected it to get this far, quite honestly. And because in the beginning, knowing myself as a person, if I push myself too much, I end up hitting a brick wall and I'll just quit. I've been like that throughout my whole childhood, throughout my whole adult life. And so I only started putting out 3 videos per week. And so, you know, that's why the growth was, I'm going to say slow, because I think it was quite slow in the beginning. And that's just because I didn't really fully commit to the channel till about maybe a year ago, when I started posting a video every single day, and I haven't missed a video for that long probably. And now I feel bad, like we've got so much going on this year with just like personal life things. My husband and I are going on our first our honeymoon after almost 11 years of marriage, and you know I'm like, I need to film, so I've got those days of content and just schedule and get it out there, because I feel bad if I don't put something out, and I shouldn't, and I know people won't mind if I take the break, but it's just my mindset has got so into, oh, I need to upload one video per day, whereas, you know, Tank has now gone down to, I think, maybe one every other day, or you know, and he's still getting crazy views. So I think if you've built that foundation and you've built that community, and they will be there no matter when you upload. And I just need to tell myself that and be okay with that. But knowing me, it'll get to like the beginning of April and I'm just gonna be like filming like crazy, just so I have stuff to come out, even if it's just every other day or something, just so, you know, because you don't want to take too much of a break, because then that of course affects the algorithm as well. Stupid YouTube algorithm, which I know you understand about.
Yeah, it's quite interesting that you said a lot of things there about it that I'm exactly the same. Like I can't upload anywhere near as much now as I used to. Although I've been doing great the last few days, but then again I have been off work for like 5 days, so it's been great. But you do feel bad. Like if I've not done one, I'll be like, I don't know, go for a walk somewhere, and you're like, oh, I didn't do one today. Oh, I feel awful. I need to like apologize to people in Discord or whatever. But then when you like think about it, you're like, it doesn't really matter. But I think it's just like when you're that used to like, right, here's a video, here's another one, there's one, have this one for early release or whatever, you know, when something happens and you can't do it, you do feel obliged. But I know everyone they're always very, very, very patient. But on the upside of it is, if you do take a little, say for instance, there's not going to be anything for 2 days, then the people that know that you upload at the regular times that you do, it's like, oh, she hasn't done one, let's have a look. And then it might come next day, like, oh, she must be planning something special. And, you know, it can build that excitement. But I do get you. I really don't like the bits in between videos. I'm the sort of person at the minute where I could come home from work and I'm exhausted, but I'd put a video out just to put one. I'd be like, I'm so tired, but it's fine. Blah.
Well, that's why, you know, I allow myself to film, maybe like I'll take a day and I'll do like 4 or 5 videos in that same day, and then I'll schedule them ahead of time, because when I first started, I used to, I used to film, and I used to do the same thing, but then I used to go and like change my t-shirt so it looked like I'd filmed on a separate day, but I hadn't. I just filmed it all at the same time because I felt like people cared about, oh, you had to release one exactly on that day and it had to look different, and but they don't care. All they care about is obviously your reaction, your thoughts, and the video itself. They honestly don't care what you're wearing most of the time, what you look like. If you've worn the same thing for the last 5 videos, I've never gotten comments from it at all. So, I do, like, when we finish wrapping up here, I've got like, I need to do like 4 for this week that people have asked me to do or whatever. So I'll be doing that. And then of course, if sometimes I don't edit crazy like you do, my edits are very simple, and sometimes I'll have everything filmed, but then I won't edit it till the night before, and then I'll just throw it up, and then it's ready to go. I try not to stress myself out too much with the channel, just because at the end of the day it is a YouTube channel, and it is worth it. But you also have to take that step back, and that's why I don't allow myself to get carried away with numbers and with analytics and all of that, because if I did, I just don't think I'd be able to continue on and be my genuine, authentic self with it.
I think that's really, really good. It's good because I think it's, I mean, let's face it, if we were both so bothered about the numbers, there's probably be times by now that we'd probably have quit, because you get people that they'll upload a video and it might not even be a particular music video that's popping off, and they upload it and you look like half an hour later, 15,000 views already. And because I know we generally focus on, I think we have we're quite similar. We have that balance of new bands, new releases, along with like some popular ones as well, and it's like you're just taking a punt on it. It might do okay, it might not. But at the same time, if we literally turn like maybe any number from 1 upwards that haven't heard that band before, job done, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I try and use my channel for. Of course, these up and coming bands that are crazy talented and they only have like 200 subscribers or less than 1,000 views on their song, and even if, like you say, even if just one person heads on over and discovers this new band, it's another fan for the band. And, and that's how I try and go about it. Of course, I will throw in videos that I know will do well here and there, just so it can help with the YouTube algorithm. And of course, you have people wanting you to check out that kind of stuff. And I also don't limit myself on like what genre I do at all. I try and do a little bit of everything. Yes, I do more so do metal rock stuff, but I will throw in like a cappella, or I just recently checked out an artist called Ren, and that video blew me away. I don't know if you've checked it out yet.
I haven't. I've seen that you've done it, and I can't remember, it might have been Chandler Burton Entertainment. I think he might have possibly done it as well, because I'm sure I saw the name Ren pop up on Chandler's on his like Patreon list, and I was like, I sort of put 2 and 2 together and figured that's possibly the same person. I'm guessing. Oh no, you don't have Patreon, so it wouldn't have been in that. But maybe it's the same person. I haven't. But this is the main. It's such a pain, right? Because as like currently, like there's a select few channels that I watch. So you've got yourself, you've got Chandler Burton Entertainment. I'll jump on Metal Burbs reviews from time to time. Orion as well. And then we've got like PTB, who does PTB Empire as well. There's probably like 1 or 2 others, and Mika, obviously. See, we've got all that's just, you will know that's literally just like a microscopic area of the reaction scene. So yeah. I always it really bugs me how I love to support all of these people who I love, but then I'll see you do something and be like, oh, I better not check that. Perfect example. If you remember a few weeks back, you were like, you're like, oh, did these guys not submit to you? I can't remember the name of the band. I was like, oh, no, they haven't. And I watched your video. I was like, oh, this was amazing. This is really good. About an hour later, I get a message from, I think it was the vocalist, and he was like, because I'd already bloody spoke to him and I hadn't realised. He was like, oh, hey, man, I was wondering if you got a chance to check it out yet. I was like, oh, I was like, right. I was like, you're going to hate me for this. I was like, I can't believe I've done this. And it's so tough, isn't it? Because you might go and watch something on somebody's channel, but then be like, it's like, I might potentially get asked to do this, and the amount of times I have to hold off on songs. I mean, I'm sure you must get that as well, where you're like, I want to watch it, but I just need to feature it first.
Yeah, it's like, because a few of the reactors that I like to watch, they live stream, and of course you want to join in and watch those live streams, but of course you have to mute it whenever the songs come. Well, I do. You have to mute it whenever songs come on, because, you know, even if it's just a 1% chance that somebody's going to ask you to check out that song, it's still 1%. And I'm very strict with myself that way. Even my husband will tell you, he's like, have you heard this band yet? And I'm like, no. And he's like, are you going to do a reaction to it? I'm like, I don't know. And then he's like, okay, well, I won't play it then, just in case, you know, because we have similar-ish tastes, but mine are a lot more heavier. And you know, he's always got YouTube or Spotify playing while he's like, he has his own like gaming thing, company, whatever you want to call it, gaming community. And you know, he's been head of that for like 20 years, and he's always making new edits and all of this stuff for the website and whatever. So he's always got music playing, and, you know, he's always discovering new things, and like he said, oh, you have to hear this or you have to hear that. And I'm like, I want to, I really do, but I can't, you know, it's just in case. And you do have to realize that we are only one person, and there's no way we're going to be able to get to every single thing that people give us. And people have to realize that also. You know, I have had comments where people are like, this is like the 4th or the 5th time I'm asking for this now, and if you don't do it, I'm going to unsubscribe. I'm like, you know, I'm sorry, but I'm one person, you know, I do everything myself. I post to social media myself. I edit everything myself. Of course, obviously, I film everything myself. You know, I don't have anybody else that helps me. Of course, I have the support from my husband, but that's, you know, he doesn't ever help me with the channel on it or anything like that. It's all me, and I know that's the same for you too. And it can be stressful, and it can be, you know, of course, sometimes people are, of course, they're fine with it, but then you get the odd comment and they're really nasty, and it was just like, well, I'm sorry, but, you know, I can't split myself 4 ways and have one Tauri do this, number 2 Tauri do that, number 3 Tauri do that. You know, I'm one person. I'm not. That's why when new stuff does come out and it is blowing up that same day, if I don't feel like filming it, I won't. And I'll, you know, I used to be like, oh, this has come out, I need to go film it and get it out that same day. But now I'm just like, if I don't have a face on, if I don't feel like doing it, I won't, because I'm not going to put that extra pressure on myself. People are going to watch it eventually anyway. Yeah. You know, it's not going to die down after a couple of days. No. Especially if it, for example, like Falling in Reverse or Electric Callboy or something like that. People are always going to be looking for those kinds of reactions. Same with Ginger and Pisces, for example. People are still looking for those. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, isn't it? You wouldn't think after all this time that particular video would still gain traction. I mean, I remember having it when someone who I knew had decided to start doing like a review or a reaction channel, and they'd be like, oh, if you've got any to, you know, to recommend, and I'd be like, oh, have you heard Ginger, Pisces? They were like, no. And then they do it, and it's crazy. I mean, I remember, it's that one, you know what, it's that one that I never did because I'd already heard it. And you know what, I really wish I could have shot myself in the face
and just said, right, if you listen to this, you're getting shot. So I could have done it because it would have been an
Yeah.
amazing one. But there's always lots of great first listens. Like I loved your reaction to the new Falling in Reverse track. It was really annoying. Again, had to wait to watch yours because I hadn't. I think I did mine like maybe was it either 2, like maybe 3 days after it dropped, and I'd heard like this is another thing as well. I'm sure you'll have had it where if you jump on social media or you see like somebody might have just done a post about the new song, but they've not physically shown the song, but they say something about it. But you're like, I don't want to get like if somebody's like, oh, they've what he says in this song is a bit. You don't want to know that because even though we will go in and try and be as open-minded as we can, there's still going to be that little part, oh, well, that person said this, and you want to try so hard to just forget that.
Yeah. And that's why I try, and if there is a big one coming out, I do try and stay away from social media posts like that. Of course, I'll go in and I'll post my own reaction for that day, but I won't scroll through, and I won't. Same with my my Facebook page. I just post and then I leave it. I don't look at it because I know, we don't want to be influenced by somebody else's words. We want to go in with our own open mind and our own thoughts on it, and just be as honest and open as we possibly can be about something, and not have that in the back of our minds going, well, they said this and that person said that, and that's what I try and do. And it's difficult because I am on my phone more than I should be. But I mean, that's just part of our job, of course. You have to, like you said earlier, we are the face of our own brand, and we have to post. And I do need to be better with that. I need like you. I know you utilize the Instagram reels and things like that, and I don't, and I should. And same with TikTok. Like TikTok is the main social media platform at the moment, and Orion is blowing up on there because he puts the work in, and his numbers are amazing. Throws out these crazy edits, and but I know he gets up in the morning like 8 a.m. and he's going all day on it. And I just, knowing the type of person I am, I can't do that. I'd stress myself out too much. I'd hit that brick wall, and then I'd be like, well, I can't do this anymore. I'm not gonna put myself through that, and I'm not gonna stress myself out. And then I'll just quit my YouTube channel, and I don't want to do that. I want to keep going for as long as we can possibly keep going.
We definitely we don't want to lose you, so just you go at your pace, thinking that we're gonna get like to a day and there's no more Tauri. They're literally you might have seen it on the news. So at the minute, we've got the NHS workers going out on strike. You're gonna have your YouTube followers. They're gonna we're not doing nothing until fucking Tauri comes back.
Yeah, and that's one thing I do love about my community is they're so supportive. Like, I'm so blessed to have them, and like I just recently transitioned my live streams over to Twitch. And,
you did, yeah.
And people have come over and followed me, and the transition has been really easy. Like, I've not had because obviously you have to build to get to affiliate, and you need 50 followers for that. And then of course the hours streamed and the days streamed and whatever else. And I'm already at like 115 followers over there, and I've only just started. I think my 4th stream will be Friday. So yeah. I
knew you wouldn't have any problems with that. So in terms of like, because obviously we've both streamed on both YouTube and Twitch now, and I'm quite intrigued to know your thoughts, because I imagine they will probably be the same as mine. But how have you found like the general both the experience of, I mean, I'd imagine the people coming onto the live streams pretty much have got the same sort of vibe about them. But in terms of like the user experience, how have you found it on Twitch compared to YouTube? Because I really, as soon as I went to Twitch, I was like, wow, this feels like so much more fun, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I felt the same way. And even my community have said the same thing. They're like, this sounds and looks so much clearer than YouTube does. And even with the latency between myself filming it and seeing it on the screen, it's not as bad as it is on YouTube. Sometimes there's like a minute or two delay between what I'm saying and doing and then what people are seeing, whereas on Twitch it's literally maybe 30 seconds, if that. And it's because Twitch is obviously built more and catered to streaming, and it's what it's for. And obviously the reason I did move is because my live streams were starting to get shut down because of copyright, and it happened with us when we did our live stream. And I just don't want to risk losing my channel and what I've worked for because I've gotten strikes. And thankfully right now, touch wood, I haven't had any strikes on my channel. I don't want to continue on and get any. So I just thought it was sensible, and it just made more sense and to make the move. And I am a complete Twitch noob. I don't really know much about it. Of course, when affiliate happens, then that changes everything, and then you can make it even more interactive with your community and all of that. So I'm really looking forward to that and to building on it. And of course, I am a gamer myself, so if I ever wanted to stream what I was playing, and for example, the Last of Us is finally coming to PC. So I've never played the game because we don't have a console. And so it's coming out next month. So if that comes out, I can be like, well, I can stream this, and see if people are interested in watching me play games or whatever, seeing a different side of me, because they only see that side of me on YouTube. And of course, YouTube, you have to be kind of not guarded in what you say, but you have to be more PG rated in it, you know? And I think the very first time I ever threw out an F-bomb in there, people are like, what, Tori swears? And I'm like, yeah, I am not this innocent looking person you may see on my YouTube channel. I am not that kind of person. You get me in a game with my sister and our community, you'll see a totally different side of me. And that's just because you have to be so careful on YouTube, because you don't want them demonetizing you or blocking you or whatever else because of their rules, and I do feel like it is one rule for one person and then another rule for another person on YouTube, and it's hard to keep up with it.
It's really tricky. I'm sure it's really strange as well. It must be by complete coincidence, but one thing I noticed when you see like all of these creators that are all blowing up, it's like, hang on, you're like, right there's why are these people all living in Canada that are all I was like, right, do I just need to set up my upload location to Canada? is it given preference? I don't know. It's really, really strange. It really, really is. But no, I do get you in terms of watching things that you say. It was really interesting though, because as you're telling me that, because obviously we know that the live rules are very, very different to the pre-recorded rules. And as you're saying that, and it's like, have to be careful what I say. I was like, hang on, I'm always swearing my head off. I'm terrible though. I'm terrible. You know what? I think I swear more in my videos than I do in real life. But then again, I'm not exactly going to walk down the street in real life and say, have that up your fucking ass.
Right.
Well,
and the same, with my falling in reverse reaction at the end, of course, I threw in that F-bomb because that's just how I felt. And that song is a lot.
I love that.
It's a lot.
I didn't expect that. I was like, Tori!
Right. And the old school nerd, same with him. And now I've become a meme on his Twitch channel where he's cut out that little section and he plays it now on his Twitch stream. I'm like, well, I'm glad I could be of service for that, you know?
That is absolutely hilarious. You know what? Now you've told me that, I'm gonna have to go and download that clip myself and do something with it. I'm gonna fucking use that. It has to be used. But I do always think though, I absolutely love all. I mean, we all do the stank face. It's just we can't help it. We never know. Well, we sort of have a feeling we know when it's gonna come, but sometimes like when you don't expect it and you're just like your eyes nearly like pop out of your socket. I absolutely love those moments, and I know it can happen a little bit with drum and bass music, but I know it's mostly so within like, you know, metal and like very hard rock and things like that. And I mean that's the one thing I love, because I think, you know, the metal reaction scene, you see people at their most animated, and
Yeah.
but like one thing I can say from speaking to you both privately, whether we've like hung out here or when we've obviously done the collaborations, you are literally like what you see of you on the videos compared to when, you know, it's more of like just a private call between two people. You're exactly the same. You are exactly the same. There's nothing forced or anything like that. Like anyone watching, and I know people say this because I've had people that's whenever I mention you, the one thing they always say, oh, Tori's lovely. And I was like, she is, and it literally is. Everyone thinks that you're lovely. You just, honestly, you are an absolute gem in the scene, and I'm absolutely thankful to be part of that community with you. You know, you just had to move away from Preston, didn't you?
I did, yeah. You can blame the American for that. My husband.
It's all right. You never know. One of these days, I might actually get myself over to the States and come and visit. That would be cool. Maybe at some point. Maybe.
Well, I mean, we got a guest bed if you ever. Then you don't have to pay for somewhere to stay. If you ever wanted to come over here, you're more than welcome.
Imagine that, jumping on they're like, oh, we're live streaming tonight. They're like, right, so we're getting Kev to come in. They'll be like, oh, cool. So wait for me to come in, and I just like walk in. I'd like, hello.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
One thing I was going to ask you, like, 'cause I don't really actually know this answer. Now, obviously, you've been doing the videos now since 2019. Like, what was it that originally inspired you to do it? Was there another channel that you maybe saw, or was it? I'm sure at that point it wasn't. Metal reactions weren't like quite as huge as they are now. Like, what was it that inspired you to, like, you know, do it all and give it a shot?
Honestly, it wasn't one particular channel in general. I don't even know how I came across reactions, quite honestly. Like, you know, I'm a big Nightwish fan. They're one of my favorite bands. And I just, you know, when YouTube recommends you something completely out of the blue and you're like, what is this? And you click on it, and then it was just somebody reacting to Ghost Love Score, which is it's my absolute favorite song, period. And then it just kind of blew up from there, and then I just kept getting deeper and deeper and watching people react to music I liked and I enjoyed, and I thought, well, you know, I've always had a passion for music. I'm always listening to something. I hated being quiet.
Yeah.
I was like, well, you know, I've got my laptop, I've got this, and it can't be as hard as it looks. And, you know, I tried it, and that's how it started, basically. It started because of my love for music, honestly, and wanting to get myself, because we do get ourselves in a rut, and we tend to listen to the same stuff over and over, and we don't really branch out from it. And I wanted to get myself out of that, and I thought, well, you know, a reaction channel could be a great thing for that, and have, once you started building your community, you of course get people recommending things to you, and I'm the same as you with the Ginger Pisces reaction. I unfortunately, of course, watched somebody else do it first, and so I've never done one. I could have done one, and I could have lied about it, but that's just not who I am. Like you say, I don't put on a face when I come on my channel. I'm just me. And the same with, that's why I don't have a Nightwish Ghost Love Score reaction, is because I know that song like the back of my hand, and you know, it would be hard for me to lie about it. And like, I think people can read on my face during live streams when somebody requests something that isn't quite my cup of tea, that, you know, you can see it in your face. And of course, I'll never say anything negative about something. You know, you always have to find that positive, but that's just the type of person I am, you know. even just off the off chance that a member from that band or whoever sees it, and then they're like, oh well, you know, I feel bad that you don't like this song and all of this, and so I try and put a positive spin on everything.
Yeah.
And you know, that's just how my channel's always been. There was one song I did, and it was quite popular at the time, and I didn't get it. I didn't like it. I wasn't nasty with it, and I put it out, and of course the comments came flooding in, and so I ended up just taking it offline because I thought, well, you know, of course my opinion is different to everybody else's, and I also didn't want the band seeing that reaction and being disappointed in it. So I feel like a week later I just took it down, and I enlisted it, I think, or I put it on private. It's still on my channel. I still have it.
Yeah.
But so if there's been times where I've started a song from a band that people have recommended, and I start it, like I'll do my reaction as normal, and I'll start it and get 30 seconds into it and be like, this isn't for me. So then I'll just stop. I won't continue filming that reaction.
I can understand that, and for anyone watching that maybe thinks, oh well, you should just go all the way through and watch it. I can tell you now, with something that we watch that we don't like, you're basically gonna have us for the remainder of the song sat here like this. And that's not fun, and I wouldn't want to put that out either. I've done it where, like, you know, something's come through and I've promised the band I'm going to do it, so I will do it. But then when I put it out again, like you always try and find, no matter what, you can always find a positive. I think ultimately the one thing you can always say is they're clearly really good at what they do, unless they're actually really not. But you don't want you really don't want to have to say, there's always something that a band is good at, even if you don't like it. And I know some people can get really, I know there are channels that aren't afraid to really say the mind. I know Richard Jan, Verena Metalbub have no problem. They have no problem with like you know, saying if they think something really isn't all that great. But I think they've got that particular sort of, I don't know, they just have something about them. Maybe for me and maybe for you, maybe we like overthinkers and don't want to like disappoint people. And I know it's not all about like everyone loving everything that you do, but I think it's just that whole, you know, do good things and good things will come back to you, and you know, that's I think that's the way that I probably do things. But no, I do, that's something I've always really enjoyed about your channels. I mean, apart from, like, you know, rather than like the people that have been watching you for a very long time, like I've known of your channel. I couldn't fucking go on YouTube without seeing your face. But I'd never jumped in, and then I think it was like a Borders video. I was like, right, I'm gonna have to check her out, and I was like, right, this is sick, you know. But that's one thing I have always liked. Now I do know, I know obviously, like, how long you spend doing things like with the channel, but obviously for those that don't, like, how much of a part of your life is the channel, like both in terms of like, obviously I know it will mean a lot to you, but in terms of actual time spent, you know, full time, part time, you know, is it like a casual thing? And like, you know, how would you explain that to someone in terms of what it is in your life?
It's probably like not full time, but also not part time, somewhere in like that 75 percentile part of my life. Like, I'm very lucky where this is my full-time job, and that's why I live stream. But again, I only live stream twice a week. I could do more, but we also have, well, I have an unspoken agreement between myself and two other channels that we won't live stream over them. You know, because we sort of have like somewhat of the similar and same community members, so you know, you don't want to force people to come to you or go to them or whatever. So you know, I do Monday, Friday, one person does Tuesday, Thursday, and then another channel does Saturday, Sunday, and then they do Wednesday as well. Whereas I used to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but it just Wednesdays, every other Wednesday is usually like my errand day, and I just found it really hard to, because like my husband gets paid bi-weekly, so then I usually take that day and I'll go grocery shopping or whatever, just do everything on that day and get it done. Then I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And then with live streaming, it's like once you go out and you run errands and you go food shopping and all, you just don't feel like doing anything else when you get back, because it's a big chore within itself. And so I got to the point where I was like, I'm just gonna do Mondays and Fridays, and we'll leave it at that. And then of course, if I ever do need to swap days, I can always ask them. And you know, for example, with this past Sunday, I streamed Sunday instead of yesterday because yesterday, of course, I had to be at the dentist. So and I'd been waiting on that appointment for quite a few months, and I couldn't switch, you know, of course, call them and be like, can I change this for another date? And you know, and so I asked this other reactor, and I was like, do you mind if we swap? And I'm like, no, of course not, you know. So they did their stream yesterday and I did mine Sunday. And that's the great thing I like about this community is everybody's always super kind and super nice and open and friendly. And I don't think I've ever really come across anybody who gatekeeps information. Like, they're always willing to help. Like you, for example, you know, I just ordered a new camera and a new lens, and you're going to help me set it up, and I'm really excited for that. Yeah.
Listen,
yeah,
literally still at the bottom. I did have that there, but I thought she might mention it, but I'll keep that there. I can't wait. I can't wait for you to get the camera so we can like get you all like set up and everything. It's gonna be cool to see the difference as well.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting because like I do love my camera, and I do like even yesterday, Infinite Reacts Lee. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I've heard of him, but I've not seen him yet.
Yeah, he's also from England, and he reached out to me, and he's like, he thought it was something I was doing in my video editing, you know, the background blur. And I was like, no, that's the lens I use on my camera. And, you know, I do really like how it looks. And that's why I was, because with yours, you still have that nice blur in the background. And that's what I like. I like the same with photography. If, you know, of course you want your subjects sharp and a nice blur in the background. And I do have a little bit of understanding with that, and so I did. You know, he reached out. He's like, "I'm sorry to bother you, and you know, do you mind if I ask you a couple questions?" I was like, "No, of course not. Ask away." You know, that's what we're all here for. You know, we all started at the beginning, and we all came into this as noobs. Some more so than others, of course. Orion did have, I think, he streamed a lot before he did start his channel, and then I think he's got like a lot of digital editing and whatever that he's done in the past. So, you know, he knows that side more, but he's always been helpful. He's never once said, no, sorry, I can't help you. He's always like, if you have any questions, just, you know, fire away. And it's been the same with anybody that I've approached. And sometimes I do feel like I'm bugging people, and like, I don't I feel like I'm being a bother, and
I know what you mean.
It's never the case, though. It's never the case. Like, everybody's always super open and super welcoming, and that goes for if anybody's thinking of starting a channel who is watching this. You know, of course, you're more than welcome to reach out to me or to, you know, to Kevin and to ask those questions.
100%. I think it's all about, like you said. I don't think there is really like much when it comes to like gatekeeping. I mean, I've even had it where I remember when Metal Bird first started. I remember when Orion first started, and I asked him because I remember I was used to see him. I know he's recently changed to a Rode mic, but we both were using. Well, he had the HyperX Quadcast, and I really loved how that looked in the videos. And you know, you can imagine asking somebody and to be like, oh, I don't really want to tell you because that's like, you know, one of their trademarks. But no, it was like, I said to him, is this the mic you got? He was like, yeah, that's it. And I was like, right, I'm going to get it. Oh, he's like, oh, it's really, really good. He was like, you know, make sure to try this and try this and try this. And I've done it where I might ask somebody what they're using. I was like, oh, what settings are you doing here? Because I might spot that something maybe doesn't look right. And I'm not messaging them to be like, you that looks rubbish. Why are you doing it like this? I'll be like, oh, have you tried doing this with it? You know?
Right. You know, there's a difference between criticism and constructive criticism. You know, and people need to also learn that too. You know, I just recently changed my thumbnails, and because I am not like, I don't have any, of course I have knowledge in how to edit like general photographs, but to put together like digital art of thumbnails, I don't know what I'm doing. And then, you know, I took inspiration from a few other channels and was like, I really like how they have their thumbnails, and I was getting bored of mine. And so I was like, I want to try something different and just see if, you know, if that changes anything or whatever. But I did it more so for me at the end of the day, and I really like how they turned out. So
it's always tricky with that as well, I think, because I get the same as you. Like sometimes I'll be like I just did it this morning when I was like, I made the blacks look a bit blacker on the camera, and then I wanted like the purple behind me to look a little bit more purple, or it'll be like a thumbnail thing. I remember when I did remember when I did the end of year, like my top releases of like last year, and I remember when I did my thumbnail for it, and I was like, I really don't like that. That just looks rubbish. And so I was like, I went through YouTube to like, you know, to try and get some inspiration. I remember I saw Metal Burbs. I was like, that looks really nice. And I was like, I was just trying to sort of take some inspiration with it. So I was like, right, I'll try this. And I looked at it. I was like, it literally looks exactly the same as Metal Burbs. So I literally just moved myself to the opposite side. But I was I felt so bad because I was like, everybody's not going to think I've just like copied him. But I mean, I think now it's really hard to, certainly when it comes to things like a thumbnail. Like, let's face it, we've seen every type of thumbnail there probably is. So I don't think it's hard to do something that's completely new. The same with music, and people are always like, oh, they're always like ripping off. That's just a rip off of this. That's just a rip off of this. All artists take inspiration from somewhere. I took this mic from Orion. I took part of how I do my editing style. I took inspiration of that from Orion. I think it all depends on how other people might potentially view it. Some people might say, oh, you're just like stealing that person's idea. But I don't think that's the way. I don't know.
no, nothing is ever truly original anymore, you know? Even in the world of art or photography or video editing or whatever we're doing here, nothing is truly original. And of course, everybody's taking inspiration from everybody else. And, you know, and I think that's a good thing, because when I first started my channel, I like... Now for my thumbnails, I will go through the video and I'll find a face that I'm pulling, and I'll take a screenshot of that and put it as my thumbnail. Whereas when I first started my channel, you'll go back and see where I'm pulling those stupid, you know, faces, because that's what I saw people doing at that time.
I definitely don't do that. So you know what? Sometimes I have to, because I'm so fussy when it comes to the image. I'll be like, I'll see the face that I want to take from it, but like, then I'll put it into Photoshop. I'll be like, it doesn't look quite as right as I like to. So I'll be like, right, I'll do it, and then I'll be like, right, get a camera on and just like hold still for as long as.
Yeah, and well, and that's the thing with my thumbnails. Like, some of them do, like, especially if they're heavy songs, and of course I do my stank face, and you know, some of them are very similar, but that's just, you know, my emotions and whatever. And if people don't like that, then, you know, that's fine. I found what works for me, and I like how it looks now, and you know, I think it looks cleaner than it did. I think it's more eye-catching than it was, and yeah, but like you know, like you said in the beginning of this, I don't do this for views or for those numbers or for the subscriber count, because, you know, I think if I did, I would have come into this and I would have done those bigger, well-known songs that I already heard, and lied about it. But the same goes for even now, people still ask me, oh, you don't have this on your channel. I'm like, because I've already heard it, and it's just, it wouldn't be a first time genuine reaction, and that's what I like to do. I know you do a little bit of research on the band before you go in, and you know.
I used to. I think it depends. Really, it depends if it's come through like Patreon or something else. Then obviously, I think if they've paid to like sort of get done as a priority, then I feel like I kind of owe it to them to maybe give a little bit more information. But since I started doing the collaborations with yourself, I do now prefer to be like, right, let's look at the name of the band. You sort of judge what you can from the thumbnail, and then just go straight in with that, because then you have no idea what you're expecting. I do have a song recommendation for you actually, which I will throw to you after we finish this. It's a band that literally just dropped, like I think it was like yesterday, and it was one of the random ones. You'll just lose your mind. You will lose your absolute mind over it. So I'll recommend that to you afterwards. But,
and that's one thing I do like about the reaction community as well, is if there's bands that we feel need to be pushed out there more, we recommend them to other reactors and try and get them to either film a reaction or even just do it on their live stream. You know, because I know Old School Nerd, he on Saturdays for his Twitch, he does like up and coming bands. That's strictly, you know, all he does on Saturdays. And you know, sometimes he'll film those and put them out as reactions on his channel on Saturday, and I really like how he does that. Whereas for me, I don't really have a particular day. I just throw out whatever whenever. I don't have like something behind, oh, this needs to be out this day, or this needs to come out this day, or I need a bigger one here, or, you know, we can put a small one here. I'm just like, nope, if I enjoyed it, it goes out.
I think you're kind of similar to me in that way, because that just kind of give me this segue to then lead into what another question I was gonna ask you in terms of the bands that you select. Now, I'll tell you how I do it. I'd be quite interested to know how you do it. Now, as much as there'll be, you know, if somebody says, let's say, for argument's sake, Stellaris messages me and says, right, we've got this coming out on the 27th of next month, then obviously I'll make sure that is set aside for it, for, you know, the bands that I will continue to support that I've already featured. But when it comes to, for instance, today, most days I'll pull up YouTube, I'll look at my subscriptions, and I'll have a look what's dropped, if there's anything eye-catching, or I'll just go to like one of the label channels and have a look what looks good. Don't rarely look at the comments. I'll just be like, what do I fancy doing? What am I in the mood for? And that's how I do it. Like, how's your process of like picking that?
I mean, it kind of varies. Of course, I'm connected to a couple of record labels, and you know, they email, and sometimes they'll give you a list of what's coming out that week, and if you could, you know, they don't mind if you do or you don't react to it, you know. Of course, it's not an obligation. It's just if there's something on there that piques your interest, you know, then I'll choose it. Same goes for, you know, and then of course I'll look through my comments and see if there's been any like recommendations that keep coming up and keep popping up. And then I'll take it from there. And then I do have like on my Instagram, people tend to send me, like bands tend to message me more on Instagram, and I try and get to every single one. But of course, again, I'm one person and I'm not going to be able to. But if there's like a band name or something that like, it's like, oh, that's an interesting name, like I wonder, you know, how they would be, and or it also depends how they come across to you, you know. Some of the messages, you can tell that they've just copied and pasted it and sent it out to however many reactors that they can. Whereas others are they're more personable, and they approach you like, hey Tori, we really enjoy your channel, we enjoyed this reaction, blah 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 blah. Our band's got this coming out this day, and you know, we will be truly honored if you would feature us. And that's what gets me to do it, is if, you know, they're genuine with it and they truly do watch the channel, and they're not just trying to get themselves out there for views. And you know, it's the same with my channel. You know, I try and be as genuine and open and not fake as possible, and you know, that shows, of course. I hope it does.
It does, yeah. You can completely tell. It's like when people, if I've been asked to do something before, I'll be like, I'm sorry, I've already heard it, and they'll be like, well, you could just do it, and like, you know, you can just act like I was like I can't, because it's in when you know when that a certain drop's coming in, you can't be like, right, I'm going to sit here and pretend I don't know what's happening.
Exactly.
It's impossible.
Yeah, and that's why like with the collaboration we did where I showed you Epica, I enjoy doing that type of stuff, because then I get to show you something I enjoy, and then I get to see your first time reaction with me being with you as well, and it's something. It's kind of a workaround of how to get that band and that song up on the channel, is if you bring somebody else in. And then people, because people they have commented, and they, you know, where if Nightwish released, or Epica, or whoever, like one of my favorite bands releases like a live version of a song, like Nightwish recently did Phantom of the Opera, and I've heard like who knows how many times, but because it was a brand new live release, it's kind of different. And then, you know, you get comments of people being like, I really enjoyed watching this with an actual Nightwish fan, and you know, thinking and seeing that perspective from it. Whereas I think if I did the Ginger and with Pisces, and you just, like you say, you know when something, especially with Pisces, because does have that shock factor of Tati's growls. Yeah. And I've listened to like so many times, there's no shock factor left, and I just can't pretend to be like, you know, I'm just, it would show on my face, and it wouldn't be genuine, and that's what I strive to be. And there are channels out there that you can tell they're there for views, and that's all they care about. They don't care about the band or the music or what they're doing. They care about that number. And you know, it's down to the subscriber to decide who they choose to watch and listen to, and you know, we can't do anything about that, so we just have to continue doing what we're doing, and do it for us at the end of the day. Yeah,
I mean, for anyone watching, if you made it this far, what I do always make sure I mention this in my videos now, you know, as well as watching our reactions, even if you don't end up going onto the band's video and watching the full video, at least leave them a comment, because it helps so much. I know, because some people are like, oh, I don't always like comment on YouTube, but it really does make a difference. And I mean, no full well it does, because I've seen, like, recently some of my older videos started popping up, ones that weren't even, like, you know, what I would consider as being all that great, certainly in terms of the quality, but because they've consistently brought in a couple of new comments every month, they keep popping up. But it's massively important for these bands, and this is ultimately why we do it. We do this video not to just jump on and get some fame off the back of what's doing well for a band. We do it to put people onto that band. Like, I featured a band like yesterday, and it's one of the best progressive metal tracks I have ever heard, and it's had like 1,400 views. I'm like, how is that even possible?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's mind-blowing, these bands nowadays, where, you know, when I was a teen, I take My Chemical Romance, for example. That first album they put out, you could tell that they weren't fully 100% put together. They hadn't found their sound yet. And then you go into the second album, and they found it. Whereas today, you get bands that are 100% completely ready to go, and fully produced, and fully fitting everything really nicely together, and then they bring it out and they only get 1,000 views or something, and it's crazy insane.
It's disappointing.
And the amount of it's disappointing to an extent. And then of course we try and get it up on our channel, and of course, like I said, I don't care about views, but it's also disappointing when that video only gets like 200 views, you know, for that band at the same time. And, you know, you just can't really take it to heart. You just have to tell yourselves, well, I did the video. Whoever sees it is going to find this band, and if they like them, they'll go on over and check them out, and that's all we can do at the end of the day.
Absolutely, you know, I completely agree that. You know what, I would say that one of the things that really like warms my heart when I see it is, you know, I'll go back to, you know, because we'll both have our playlists of, like, you know, bands that we've checked out on the channel, and I like to just stick it on random because you always end up rediscovering something you've forgotten about. So then I'll go to watch the video, and I absolutely love it when I see a comment and be like, oh hey, I saw this first on, you know, my channel or somebody else's channel, and I love that because that shows that person really values the content that particular channel has done to help that band, and as well as supporting them, they've then come back over to support the band, and that's what it's all about. I saw one. I was really pleased with this. Someone had said on some reaction channel, like, oh my God, this has got like triple the amount of views of the original music video. That's amazing. And the reactor commented and said, well, no, it's not amazing. I don't want that. I would rather be like, if someone's going to spend the time to go and watch ours, definitely go and watch the other one as well. I'm forever going back to the other videos. I mean, like, still watching in 2023.
Yeah, I've put those comments on as well. And like you say, it's super important for the algorithm and for the band themselves. And that's why I always have the original link in every single video I put out. I will have the original link to that music video.
So another thing which I was quite interested in, because I do personally, I'm sure a lot of people think that if we have a reaction channel, all we do, and I hate that word now. I really do hate it, but we have to put it on the videos because it helps it get seen ultimately. But for our particular type of content, I think they think that we only watch that type of content, and that's not the way as well. Like, what other sort of creators on YouTube, like what sort of content do you enjoy to watch, like outside of metal music, that sort of thing? I'd be really interested to know what sort of things you like to consume.
Well, my absolute favorite YouTuber is called Joni Jinten, and she's from the very north of Sweden, and she just does like daily vlogs of her life up in Sweden, and she's just so very talented at storytelling, at filmmaking, and like her vlogs are literal pieces of art, honestly, and she's won some awards for it, and she's also such a sweetheart, and she just has her voice and her accent with it. It's very like fairy tale like, and it's very soothing as well, and I really enjoy watching her videos. As for, I don't really watch a lot of things on YouTube, quite honestly. I am very big into, I like watching a lot of TV shows. I really enjoy a good British, it has to be British because nobody does it like us, a good British crime, crime drama. I mean, like right now I've got the last episode of the final season of Happy Valley to watch, which I'm sad it's coming soon. It's so good. If you haven't seen it,
I heard that I had like my daughter's mum the other day. She said to me, she was like, "Why is everyone banging on about this?" She was like, "Is it really good?" I said, "Well, I have no idea." But now you've told me, I'm definitely gonna have to watch it. Definitely gonna have to watch it.
Yeah. It's got I don't know if you know Sarah Lancashire.
Yes, she used to. Yeah. Curly's girlfriend from Coronation Street. Yeah.
She's the main character in it. Like, she's the policewoman, and she's a phenomenal actress, and just the storylines that have been, like, we didn't think we were going to get this last season at all. It's been like 5 years since the last one.
Okay.
But it's been a nice way to wrap it up, and I'm going to be really sad when it ends, and I'm really curious how they're going to end it with the storyline. I'm not going to spoil anything just in case you do watch it. But yeah, it's a really great show. I enjoyed that. I enjoy this one called Shetland that comes on that I think now is about to change up their lineup because the main character in that, he didn't want to come back or something. I don't know. But I really enjoy crime shows like that. Like, as a kid and even now, if I did ever go back to school, I'd want to do like crime scene investigation and and like pathology and find out why this person died or whatever. But I know I'd also be grossed out by having to do an autopsy, so I don't think I could do it. I just find it really fascinating. I find like how people can find DNA and put all these pieces together and figure out what happened and find the person responsible for it and you know, of course put them behind bars. Same with being like either being a police detective, but I know you've got to go through so much of just being a beat policeman and all of that bullshit that I'm not interested in it. So especially not here in America, you know, of course the area I'm living in is not the best. It's we're here because my husband works on the army base. But the area itself is there's areas, you know, of course with anywhere in a major city, there's areas that you don't go in at all because of gangs and crime and things like that. And that's one thing I've had to get used to with being in America is, of course, they can carry and we can't.
Yeah. Oh, so even though you're a citizen, you can't?
No, I'm not a citizen yet. I just have my green card.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I can carry, which I do. It makes my husband feel better when I'm by myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do have my concealed carry permit. You know, you have to go through training and school and whatever to get that. But yeah, I do carry. It's more so for my husband's sake than for mine. How did
that feel like the first time that you did that? Like that must have been really strange. Like, 'cause obviously here in the UK, as you know, where you're originally from, we just have to hope that nobody tries to knife us.
Right. So the first time I ever saw a gun, like, it was accidental. Because my husband had one in the bedside table, like right next to the bed, and he completely forgot about it. He didn't think about it, and he's like, "Hey, can you just grab something out of there?" And I open it. I was like, you know, and he's like, "Oh shit, I forgot about that." And but he's a natural teacher, you know, and a natural leader. And he has been really fantastic about teaching me the proper way to handle a firearm safely and all of that. So, you know, without him, I don't think I would have one.
Yeah.
Because of course it's not a cultural thing we're used to in England. We're just used to having to watch out for, like you say, people coming at you with knives and things like that. Whereas here, of course, I mean, people think that you can just walk in a shop and walk out, you know, walk into a firearm shop and then walk out with a firearm. And it's not true. You can't do that unless, like, for me and for my husband, because we do have this permit and we have had background checks and all of that done.
Yeah. We
can do that. But for somebody who's not got that and just a regular old person who's not, you know, just who wants a firearm, no, they can walk in, they can purchase one, but then they have to wait. They have to wait on it, and they have to wait for the background checks. And if anything flags up, then of course they can't have one, you know, which I don't think people realize. I think they just think you walk in and then you walk out with one, but it took me a long time. I am more comfortable with the bigger gun just because the smaller ones, they have a lot of kickback and I've got tiny hands.
Yeah.
But of course, with having a concealed weapon, I had to find something that I was comfortable using. And of course, we haven't been to the range in a long time. We need to, because of course you do need to practice and you do need to, with safety and things like that. But yeah, it was not a cultural shock because of course I knew Americans had guns and whatever, but it was just more so me like I'm still not 100% used to like carrying or whatever.
Yeah.
Of course, every business has their own separate rules on whether they want people carrying in there or not. You know, if they've got a sign on their door that says no guns allowed, then of course you know, I've got a lockbox in my car that I put it in, and you know, the post office, you're not allowed, any government buildings, you're not allowed, of course. And you just have to be wary, and it's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
Of course, if I know I'm going to any of my friends who have young kids, then I'll leave it in my car. I don't ever want that responsibility of knowing because kids are kids, they're always going to rifle through stuff, and I don't ever want them to go through my handbag and find, you know, this gun, because they don't know it's real. They're kids.
Exactly. They probably think, you know, it's like a toy.
Right. And so I'm very responsible with it, and that's been a big help with my husband, and he's also had that military Navy training, you know, and been taught from a young age how to handle them and be safe, and he's been really good with that. And same with my stepdaughters, you know, he's taught them how to do it properly, and yeah, it's interesting. But it does kind of, with the area, I mean, it does kind of make me feel a little safer.
I get it.
But also being a woman too, a woman in general.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, 100%. You know what? If there was, you know what, if there was one thing that I could bring in that women were allowed to have, you know what, I would feel probably. I don't know. I may be 50-50 on it, but knowing that, like, my daughter's, so she's almost into her teens now, and thinking of the sort of things that she hasn't got a clue what she's going to be worried about. Like, we make her aware as much as we can without, you know, absolutely disturbing the living shit out of her. But yeah, I can see how that would certainly be a bonus there. But no, I can get that. I remember when I was over in the States, and I remember going into, was it like Dick's Sporting Goods or something? I remember going in, and I was like, have they got a gun section? They're like, oh yeah, it's just over there. And we went over, and like the guy behind the counter was like typical, like, you know, proud American, and he was like speaking to me, and he's like, oh yeah, and I was like, oh my God, look at them all. And he was like, do you not have these like in England? I was like, no, only if you're like a police officer or if you're like a landowner that has like a permit.
I mean, even normal beat police don't carry. It's only the SWAT teams, you know, and everybody's always like, what?
Yeah, I know. How do you protect yourself? They're like, well, we just have to sort of try and just make sure that we can handle them. But like you said, it all depends. Like, you know, it all depends what you've grown up with. Obviously, you've been in the States for quite some time now, so I'm sure, although it's still not 100% with you, it's something which it's just part of the lifestyle, which is it's like anything. If there was a law that you're not allowed to do this and you used to be allowed to doing it, then obviously it's just something that you have to adjust to. But I do always enjoy hearing about, you know, the differences between obviously what your life was like here and how you have it now. And I think it's great that you've settled over there. Well, I've kept you for quite some time today. I do appreciate you coming on. So I think we'll wrap it up there. But no, thank you so much for coming on again and having a little hangout with us, and hope everyone's enjoyed the content. Now, everybody, if you aren't already following Tauri, I'm predicting right now, as this is being watched, there's just a bunch of comments from all the Taurians saying something. I don't know. But if you're not already following Tauri, please do. I will make sure I drop all of her social links below. But go and support her. She's been absolutely fantastic with me ever since we started connecting. And I think it's almost like every couple of days now. It's like, oh, Kev, have you seen this? And I've been like, oh, what's this? But no, thank you, Tauri.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. If I ever do jump back on the live streams again, which is a possibility, I will make sure I bring you on for one of them, as you have with me. So thank you. But I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. But to everyone else, we'll see you in the next one, and go and watch one of the videos now. Tell her I sent you. Thanks a lot, Tauri.
Bye. Thank you.